Cops work thousands of accidents across the United States every single day, but what happens when we get in one? Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you are having a fantastic weekend so far. So today we're going to talk about accidents, and those of you that have been watching my videos since way back when know that I hate the term accident. Very rarely are motor vehicle collisions actually called accidents. Usually there's some sort of contributing factor that leads to two vehicles crashing together. Whether it's following too close and the front person slams on their brakes, or the person in the back just isn't paying attention. There's a whole list of contributing factors associated with them, but for the sake of syllables, I am just going to call them accidents today. Getting into police work, it's inevitable. Eventually, at some point, you're probably going to get into an accident of some sort. Whether it's a fender bender or it's a major total loss for both vehicles, one way or another, you're probably going to be in one. Cops are normally very good drivers, but we're still human. We still make mistakes. And other people make mistakes that cause us to crash. Maybe it's somebody that's not getting out of the way like they're supposed to. We try to go around them, we lose control, we crash. Maybe it's an officer that's going too fast for conditions. They can't control their car. It's above their ability and they end up losing control. Luckily for me, I have only been in 2 motor vehicle collisions or accidents in the past 10 years. The first one was somewhat severe, but the second one was just a fender bender. My first accident was April 2009. You guys have heard me talk about this guy, Boston, in older videos. Me and Boston used to go to Starbucks at the start of every night shift. Our shift started at 7 o'clock. We would go up to Starbucks, we would stand outside, we would drink our coffee, and then we would hit the road. It was kind of a ritual, if you will. Well, one day, him and I are standing outside this Starbucks. I know, basic white girls. And this motorcycle comes flying by, clearly way over the speed limit, at least twice the speed limit, which by the way is 45 miles an hour. So I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, "Do you want to get him?" He said, "Yeah, let's get him." So he gets in his car, he goes around the right side of the Starbucks, I go around the left side. The left side has a paved road, there's like a Verizon store and some other stores on that side. He actually cuts through a dirt lot. He comes up to a red light and makes a right. I get caught by the red light because I went the other way. So Boston is far ahead of me, my light turns green, I'm on the inside lane, which is the left lane. And I gun it. I'm gunning it, I'm hauling ass down the left lane. We're trying to chase after this motorcycle. Well, in front of me, I had a huge F-250 truck that turned into a turning lane. Well, there was also a turning lane on the other side of him that a lady was in. This lady could not see me because of this big ass F-250. So needless to say, this little lady pulls right in front of me and there was no time to react whatsoever, guys. I hit her so hard, the front end of her car came off, my car went spinning. I ended up striking 2 or 3 different vehicles at a car dealership. And then what finally stopped my vehicle was one of those huge concrete poles. When I say huge pole, it's like a huge power line pole. And if I would have rotated any more counterclockwise, it would have hit my driver door. And I probably would not be here talking to you guys. The interesting part about this collision was as soon as I stopped spinning, I was a little dazed, but it wasn't a big deal. But the first thing I did, our cameras are constantly recording. So every second that a camera records, it's deleting a second from 30 seconds ago. So that way, whenever you activate your lights or you hit the record button, it's actually captured everything 30 seconds prior to you doing that. I don't know what made me do it, but my first thought as I'm like coming out of my daze is I reached up and I hit the record button. So I ended up getting the entire crash on video, which still to this day I have not seen. So as soon as I hit record on the camera, I come to a final stop. And I get on the radio and I said my badge number, 401 dispatch, I've been involved in a 1050, got blood from the head. I had blood everywhere inside the car, everything was tossed about, but I was still able to communicate through dispatch. Thank God my radio worked. So Boston cuts off what he's doing, right? Of course, he's not worried about the motorcycle anymore. He comes over to me. Anybody that's watched my previous videos know that Boston is very rough around the edges. I use that term loosely, of course. So I'm laying in my car. I'm still like in and out of it. Boston comes up to the passenger side of the car, which the window has been smashed out by now. He leans in, he puts his hands up on the window, and his exact words to me were, "Are you fucking stupid? What the fuck's the matter with you? Look at you, you can't even catch a fucking motorcycle." So I'm laying there and I'm like, thanks, Boston. That's great. Of course, that's just his sense of humor. I love the guy. So needless to say, I'm trying to get out of my car. My door is crunched. I can't open it. So there's like state patrol that's out directing traffic. The city units are directing traffic. The county units are out directing traffic. They're having like crowd control because like crowds are coming up wanting to see what's going on. Fire department, EMS shows up, and they have to use the jaws of life. Well, obviously when they're using the jaws of life, it's going to bust glass. So what do? They cover me with a white sheet. So not only did I look like Casper sitting in my car, everybody outside thought I was dead. So of course in the background I hear screams and I hear gasps and I hear, "Oh my God, is he okay?" So embarrassing, guys. It was so embarrassing. So they use these jaws of life. They finally pry the door off from the frame. And I'm trying to get out of the car, right? Like I'm fine, I'm okay. A little shaken up, but I'm okay. And they're like, no, you can't get out. We need to put you on a stretcher. And I'm like, no, I don't need a stretcher, guys. I'm fine. I'll walk to the ambulance. If you guys want to take me, that's fine. But I can walk. No. You need to get on the stretcher. I'm like, son of a bitch. So they end up putting me on the stretcher. They carry me to the ambulance. I don't remember from the ambulance to the hospital. I don't remember the ride or anything. I wasn't blacking out. I'm sure a few people are I wasn't unconscious for any of this. I never blacked out. I never had a concussion. I just don't remember. I have a horrible memory. So I get to the hospital and I remember the doctor put 5 staples in the back of my head. Somehow the back of my head got split open. I don't know. So of course by this point, the department, like everybody's contacted my family. My mom's on the way to the hospital. My stepdad's on the way to the hospital. And I really don't remember much about the trip to the hospital. I do remember being back home. I remember feeling the staples that were in the back of my head. I had 5 staples. And I remember having really bad whiplash. I had whiplash for about a week, maybe like 5 days. And then it was gone. It was no big deal. And then around that same time, the 5 staples got taken out, and it was completely painless. For those of you that have staples in your head, whenever they take them out, it's completely painless. At least it was for me. So the shitty part about the whole situation, our chief of police at the time, how do I put this in a very sensitive manner? She was not fond of white people. Was that delicate enough? So the chief shows up to the hospital, and I remember one of the officers told me about this afterward, and apparently there was a group of them because I've heard this from a few people, but they said, "Don't worry, Officer 401 is safe. He's okay." Her exact words. "Oh yeah? Well, my car isn't." Your car? Are you serious right now? I was pretty pissed about that when people told me afterward. The only credit I have to give her is she is the one that hired me, which apparently she didn't want to hire white people, so I guess I was kind of the token white, Mexican, Asian, Scandinavian guy. I don't know. But either way, it pissed me off. My mom got wind of it. She was furious about this. So to make a long story short, it was a brand new car, got into an accident. The second accident I got into was just a fender bender. I was on my way to an officer that was asking for help, and somebody hit my back end. It was totally my fault. I admit fault. I went through a stop sign, not paying attention. That's where tunnel vision comes into play, guys. I had severe tunnel vision. This officer was calling for help. I came up to a stop sign. I did like a quick glance left, a quick one right. I went through, but there was bushes to my right side, so I couldn't see anything, even though I did look both ways. So when I came past the stop sign, I see headlights right away and I'm like, shit. So I gun it and they hit my backside. So anyway, guys, like I said, that is going to be an inevitable part of your time in law enforcement, as eventually you are going to get in some sort of accident. Some officers have really bad accidents. We had an officer that he had an accident in the rain and he was out for months. His car was absolutely totaled. He had to go through physical therapy. So just be careful on the road, guys. Don't drive above what your limitations are. If there's ever a moment where you feel uncomfortable behind the wheel, it's time to slow down. Slow down. The best analogy that was made to me was, if you're responding to an officer that needs help, what good are you if you can't get to them and now people have to help you too? And that really stuck with me, because before, especially as a young officer, you don't pay attention to how fast you're going. It's literally foot to the floor, through the floor, trying to get to wherever you're going. And it could be a burglary. It could be something stupid. And you're still going 130 miles an hour to get there. If I can offer any piece of advice, guys, don't be in such a rush to get there. I very rarely ever go above 100 miles an hour unless it's an absolute emergency. If it's life or death, I will go over 100, but I will not go over 120-ish. Because again, if you get a flat tire, you get a blowout, something, and you wreck out, now everybody has to help you on top of whoever needs help. So you're really no help to anybody. And I know you younger guys that are getting into law enforcement, you're looking forward to having your car, whether it's a Crown Vic, Charger, or otherwise, and you want to haul ass everywhere you go. I get it. But that will fade with time, and over time you'll start to realize how dangerous that really is. I don't care how good of a driver you are. I've been doing this 10 years. My whole life, a third of my life, has been driving. So take it from somebody that has that experience under the belt to know, take your time. Don't be in such a rush to get there. Don't get me wrong, if it's a hot call, put the haul ass on it, but don't hurt yourself doing so. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys very soon. If you have any other video ideas, please leave them in the comment section below and help me come up with something. I literally came up with this video right before I filmed it. And so help me out, give me some video ideas, something I can talk about for about 10 minutes, and we'll go from there. So anyway guys, thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys very, very soon.